मैंने रिसर्च करी, मैंने लोगों से पूछा. There are so many words that I don't understand.
You look at budget, how much you want to put away. You look at time, how long you want to stay invested. And let me not use the word risk, I will say comfort.
That also keeps on changing, right? The time that I could give, the money that I will be able to put in, the comfort, what kind of experience I would.
And that's why I said budget is also important, because if it's all the money you have and you can't be going through volatility. Now, there's something called good money, bad money, mad money.
This is actually a very good way of deciding.
I think it's a good starting point.
Hello everyone, I am Kruti, the Novice, and I'm here again with my questions to ask to the wise, the experts, to understand it better. And we have Mr. Anand Vardarajan, Chief Business Officer at Tata Asset Management with us. So hi sir, how are you?
I'm good. How have you been?
I'm also good. So by the compounding calculation that you made me do, two things that happened. One is I am worried. And second is I'm going to do something positive about that worry, that is start investing as early as possible.
Very nice.
But now there are so many words that I hear about investing. मैंने research करी, मैंने लोगों से पूछा. There are so many words that I don't understand. Risk appetite, asset class. What is all of this? Just help me.
So let's start with risk, since you spoke about risk. So, have you done bungee jumping before? Anytime?
Once.
How was it?
Scary.
And if someone was there who had done it 50 times or 100 times in her lifetime, can you imagine what would their approach be vis-a-vis you?
It's normal business for them. They'll not be scared. No, they have done it so many times.
So, I think the key is that in terms of risk, you need to understand that your heart rate, your pulse rate, your blood pressure could be very different from the guy who did it 50 times, 100 times over, and hence their view of bungee jumping will be very different. It will be BAU for him. For you, it's like it may be that scary.
Yeah.
I remember you told me you shut your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you even did bungee then. But okay, be that as it may. And that's the reason. And this is similar in finance as well. And that's why it's called personal finance. It's very personal to every individual.
Oh, I like
the
that.
Risk is also very personal, I'm just saying.
So yeah, it's called personal finance and not finance. So that's something to note. But when you call it personal finance, then how do I know what is it for me then? Then I can't I can't look at trends and what kya chal raha and all of that, right? How do I decide it for me then?
It all starts with asset allocation.
And what is it?
So think about it. If you're traveling from point A to point B, what are those top 2-3 things that you look at before travel?
I look at my budget.
Okay.
Then I look at the number of leaves or days I have for the trip.
Okay.
And then I look at the experience, what kind of experience I want.
Understood.
Yeah.
So broadly, let's say even in finance, if you were to think about it, you decide on the vehicle at the end. You look at budget, how much you want to put away.
Right.
You look at time, how long you want to stay invested. And let me not use the word risk, I will say comfort. How uncomfortable or comfortable you want the journey to be.
Right.
So if it is equity, for instance, there could be volatility. Comfort, I'm calling it as volatility. So if you're okay with volatility, a bumpy ride, then it's quite possible that then equity could be something that one may consider. But if you say, I do not want any bumps, I just want it to be smooth, non-bumpy and so on, then you don't have the stomach for volatility, which means then fixed income is something which one should consider. And asset allocation starts with how much of fixed income or how much of equity I need to set aside, depending on these 3 factors. A, what is my budget? If my time horizon is too short, then you can't be into a bumpy ride. Then you have to make sure that it's something which is less volatile, and hence fixed income becomes a choice. if you have a long-term perspective, but still you do not want to take any risk on your capital, then you are putting comfort ahead of anything else. So it's always a trade-off between how much time you have and how comfortable you would like to be. Because I think I've said this in the past that there are three things which you need to think about. Jaldi, Zyada, and Jaldi is quick, Zyada is large, and Jhatka is volatility. You get two jaws at the same time, you never get three together. So you get Jaldi and Zyada, then you will always have a volatile Zyada Jhatka rahega.
Okay.
If you have Zyada and Jhatka, then it will never be Jaldi. Because if it is going to be large and you're okay with volatility, you have to give it time and so on. So I'm just saying you'll have to make the trade-off. The reason why I don't want to tell you what should be your asset allocation, which I'm just trying to preempt, knowing you, I know it'll come. So what I don't want to prescribe is you'll have to make this trade-off in terms of what is more dear to you, which is comfortable ride, non-bumpy, or you can give it more time, and what kind of money can you put away, and that becomes important.
This is actually a very good way of deciding my comfort, and as in what works for me, and that is where we bring the point of personal finance also. So now, as you said, I have a liking towards, sometimes I would want to do like a adventurous trip. Sometimes I would want to have like a chill kind of trip. So basically I would want to do both at times. So is there a middle way in finance also? Because I would want to do both, a bit of equity, a bit of debt. Like, is there a way?
So I think a good starting point, Kruti, could be what we know as balance advantage funds. I think it automatically takes care of, for first timers who are just starting off in terms of investing. It does exactly that, which is a good blend of debt and equity. Puts away money between these two asset classes. It could be multi-asset funds where it puts away money across three different couple of asset classes, or it could be good old large cap funds where you just invest in good large established kind of companies, those kind of funds. I think it's a good starting point, and from there, once you gain familiarity, once you know how this thing is behaving and whether it is in sync with your portfolio, your objectives, slowly then you kind of start dialing it up, down, depending on what your heart rate, like I said, is.
And that also keeps on changing, right? The time that I could give, the money that I will be able to put in, the comfort, what kind of experience I would.
And that's why I said budget is also important, because if it's all the money you have and you cannot be having it, it can't be going through volatility. And if it's a small sum of money that you're putting away, then it's you may think it'll be okay for you to take some risk money. There's something called good money, bad money, mad money.
Okay.
And you really want to make sure that a little bit of something where you want to test something out, you can try this with a small sum of money. But if it is serious money, then you would want to be having a very structured approach to it.
Right. So the Jaldi, Zyada and Jhatka helps, and this way I can determine every year or whenever I think कि 5 साल बाद अगर मेरे दिमाग में वो change हो रहा है, तो I can determine what it is for me at that point of time.
Absolutely.
So guys, this definitely helped me through my confusion. I hope this helped you through your confusion also, and now you can decide the mix of Jaldi, Zyada and Jhatka for you and start investing. See you until next time.